Welcome back to Daytime, everyone. If you've ever been dumped, and we all have, you know it can feel like your heart has been ripped out and stomped on. Don't get bitter, get better.
Well, relationship therapist and pop culture expert Bree Maresca-Kramer is here with 7 steps to getting over a breakup.
Good to have you back, Bree.
Thanks for having me again.
One of your first tips here, you say feel. Allow those feelings. Don't stuff them away.
Absolutely, because most people, that's what they want to do. They want to hide it, they want to avoid it, but you want to feel them and walk through them, and that's the way you're going to get through it and heal on the other side.
But how long do you feel them?
Well, that's really up to everybody. You know, some people just take a little bit, and then some people take longer to get through it.
Okay.
But the key is to actually feel your feelings.
So don't ignore those feelings of loneliness, right?
No, and don't drink them away, and don't, you know, shop them away. Just actually walk through them, and then when you get to the other side, it's going to be better.
So what about those friends that come up to you and are just like, get over it, just get over it, you don't need her, she was bringing you down, he's a loser.
Right, when they say just, you know, he's a jerk anyways. They really do mean well, your friends and family, but it's horrible advice because we need to go through the natural grieving process. And in order to do that, we need some time. So we need to go through the shock and the denial part, and then the bargaining, and then the anger, and finally the acceptance. So although they mean well, we want to avoid that advice.
And there's nothing worse as a friend than going up to your girlfriend and saying, he was such a loser.
Right.
And then you think, well, wow, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I wish you told me that a little while ago.
Telling me.
I've been with him for 3 years. Thanks so much.
Yes.
Step number 3, you say nurture yourself.
Yes. The interesting thing about this is that most people will harm themselves during this time. They'll stop eating, or they'll overeat, or they'll stop bathing, or they'll abuse alcohol and drugs. And instead you want to do the very nurturing acts for yourself, very comforting, nurturing acts through this process.
Anthony actually did this.
I did. I actually went to an ashram after one of my breakups, and I was really good to myself for about 7 days, and I went in feeling like a toxic mess, and I came out the other side actually with a big smile on my face, feeling a lot better about myself.
That's wonderful. That's the way to do it.
Be good to yourself, right?
Very nurturing and good to yourself.
Yes. A good diet and a little yoga.
Well, they say the divorce diet works, right? If you want to lose weight, get divorced.
Okay, here's step number 4, very important. Avoid jumping into a new relationship.
Yes, and this is so deceptive because our brains are wired to feel good. So when we're not feeling good, our brain is going to look for ways to feel good immediately. So one of the ways people do that is they want to jump into a new relationship because you're in the honeymoon stage. And everything feels amazing when you're in the honeymoon stage. And it feels good and it numbs the pain. But what happens is the pain eventually comes out and ends up coming out in that new relationship and sabotaging that new relationship.
The rebound.
The rebound, yes.
Be careful if you're in the rebound.
Step number 5, Anthony, what is that?
Step number 5, take your time, but don't get stuck. What do you mean by it? You know, explain that a little bit.
Well, you want to allow yourself the process, because it's a horrible process to go through when you're dumped. But you don't want to get stuck. You don't want to get stuck in the depression. You don't want to get stuck in being bitter. You want to evolve through the process and come out whole and richer and a more fuller and rich person like you did when you came out of your experience.
I feel like some of the times you just want to get distracted and get involved in an activity you haven't done before, whether it's mountain biking or a chess club or something. I don't know, but just do something to take your mind off it.
Well, you just don't want to get stuck in it. You don't want to lay on the couch for 6 months, you know, in a blanket eating potato chips. That's not going to get you to a better place.
Forgiveness is very liberating. Once you find a way to go, okay, I forgive, even if it was the worst breakup ever, then you can move on. You don't have to harbor those awful feelings. Step 6, you say, take your time, but don't get stuck.
Yes. We want to allow the process, but not get stuck in it.
Okay.
Yes.
I missed step number 5 there.
That's okay.
I can't read right now. It's interesting. You say do not make major life decisions.
Yes.
Like, don't move, don't sell the house, don't quit your job.
Don't cut your hair off. You know, don't change your appearance. Because, again, our brain is wired to feel good. So we're going to find these ways. How can I feel better? Well, maybe if I just pack up and move to California, everything's going to be okay.
Okay, well, number 7, we don't have time to get into it, but it is rebuild your life.
Rebuild your life, absolutely.
Makes sense, right?
Yes. Then you'll be a better partner for the next relationship.
And look at it as an adventure and a positive.
Okay.
Yes.
Relationship therapist Bree Maresca-Kramer. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we return, we'll talk about International Women's Month.
Have we really come a long way, baby? We'll find out.